Many people remember the Pokemon anime, right? Well, I want to tell you one thing that ruined my childhood. I used to be an intern at Game Freak, the company that made Pokemon. I loved my job, but I was always fired. I went to my apartment and turned on my TV. The channel was Disney XD, the show that was on Pokemon X, Y, and Z. I was actually pretty surprised to see that it was still airing. The episode playing forming a more perfect reunion. I was excited for this episode because I haven't watched Pokemon in so long. The episode started pretty normal, and I was jumping for joy when I saw all the trainers at the Kalos region battling against the evil Zargnagade and its master, Lancerade. What I wasn't expecting was that Lancerade's death in this version. Oh my god. How do I even begin with that? Let's just get to explain what happened. If you had watched the episode before, you'd probably know Lancerade was presumably sent away to some other dimension, I think. No gore, no blood, or anything related to that, right? Well, the version on my TV was completely a different story. I watched as the real Zargrade bursted through the flake Gazerade's chest, causing it to implode. Lacerade was pretty fine, as he was trying to run away from the trainers. "Where do you think you're going?" Ash said, as the trainers looked at him. Ash's Greenja used its water shrunken to throwing it at Lacerade, cutting his legs off as blood spattered on the ground. "Please, spare me," Lacerade said, with pure terror and stuttering in the middle. "No! You tried to destroy the world with your doom-bringing machine, and you consumistic idiot," Ash said, yelling at him. The trainers then all ordered their Pokemon to attack the helpless trainer. Even Zangrade used a beam from its arm just to destroy Lancerade. The trainer's Pokemon attacks Zangrade's beam and combined it with the struck of Lancerade. Pretty painfully, Lancerade then started screaming so loud that it could be heard from a mile away from my apartment door. When I looked closer, I saw the pieces of Lancerade's skin, flesh, and muscle, and the tissue starting to tear and ripping from its body. Its organs began to get vaporized one by one. "Oh my god," I said in illusion, trying not to throw up. His scream escalated, and I had to cover my ears, which are beginning to bleed. I saw on the screen was Lancerade's skeleton on the ground, as it slowly begins to crumble and turn to dust. That is where the episode ended. And that, my little pretties, was an alternative, more gruesome version of forming a more perfect reunion. A Pokemon Lost episode creepypasta written by Affan Jamsari. My final thoughts on this story? Okay, there is a couple of, issues going on with the story. Like, I have a couple good things to say about it, but I do have some negatives that I want to make it out first. For one, I'm going to say that the beginning part of it was completely cliched when it comes to, somebody, used to work as an intern for a certain company that made a certain, show or movie or whatever, and goes home, goes to the TV, and then goes on the channel and finds out there's a disturbing Pokemon episode. Like, really? That's been done to death in like most creepypastas I've seen. Every single creepypasta I've seen actually done that. Like, why can't anybody, come up with their own original ideas nowadays? I'm not trying to sound harsh to the offer or anything. I don't get it why everybody doesn't make recent, decent, or good creepypastas without sitting there throwing, bunch of cliches at their faces, because you know what? I don't give a crap. I don't give a rat's ass about this because, one thing I definitely did notice was that there were run on sentences. Like, there's run on sentences, at some parts of the story, which is kind of why the story made it difficult for me to read because of the fact that, there's periods in places that should be periods, places that should have been commas, or they weren't there, or they were just all over the place. It made the story incredibly hard to read. Like that's the main flaw is that there needs to be, there has to be proper punctuations at certain places. Like learn proper sentence structuring, people. Take this with a grain of salt. You have to put it through what was it? Oh yeah. You have to put it through the punctuation marks. Definitely have to say this. You have to put this through you have to put this through Google Docs or whatever, site that will allow you to write stories, or, any site that can help you fix the grammatical mistakes. I mean, there's like a couple grammatical mistakes in the story too. So I did notice that, as well as the sentence structuring. The sentence structuring does need to be fixed. That's the main issue with the story, is that there's places that should have been periods that should have, where their periods should have been, commas where they should have been, and the grammar, it's, I mean, the grammar is okay. I mean, there were a couple lowercase i's. I had to keep myself from, getting angry because of that. So there's definitely that. There's places that should have been periods, places that should have been commas, and or they weren't there, or they were just all over the place, which is why it made the really bad, really made the story that are really difficult to read in a sense. I mean, it's not really terrible or anything like that. It just doesn't, it makes the story hard to read at times. I mean, the fact that, the whole episode, goes cliche with Ash using his Pokemon and other trainers using their Pokemon to kill off the villain. Like, why is it that always have, why does every Lost episode pasta always have to sit there and take that route? That route is shite. It's been done to death. Other creepypastas do the same thing. I mean, this is the reason why I don't really go on Goshia Lost Episode Wiki very much anymore, unless I find decent or good stories on there. Other than that, this one was just pure garbage. I mean, this story was not completely garbage. I mean, there were some attempts to come up with something different. I'm not going to deny that. But this story failed miserably in the plot wise. I mean, the only thing I would have to say was that the grammar was decent, but the grammar was okay, needs to be revised. Same thing with the sentence structuring. But other than that, the story was just not that good. That's all I have to really say. Not trying to, sound, really rude, not trying to be, mean to anybody or anything like that, but this story just, this is just the reason why I really don't care for this story. I mean, when I read it for the first time, I honestly, had a really bad headache because of the fact that there were parts of the story that really, need to be revised. I mean, the fact that the character, person says, "Oh, I was trying not to throw up," or say that's where the episode ended. Like, the ending could have been, more satisfying if there's like an explanation to, what made the episode so messed up, or what happened to this part of the ending, why was it cut off. At least some form of explanation would be helpful, or maybe a backstory of it that could really help out with this story. That's just all I have to say. Other than that, this story was just garbage. The only thing I have to say was that the grammar was okay, and same with the sentence structuring. The paragraph structuring was good though, but that's just all I have to give it. Everything else was just cliched at parts, not really that good, and just didn't help out with the story at all. That's simply all I can definitely say. But like I'm gonna say right now, I know this review may not be the best, but I'm definitely giving it my all. And to say this right now, Affan Jamsari, just take what I have to say with a grain of salt and use that to improve on your story writing in the near future. I would suggest you put it through Google Docs, because Google Docs can actually help you, fix these issues, and you should be fine from there. That's all. That's one of my advices I can give, is put it for Google Docs before you post it on wikis, because Google Docs can actually sit there and help fix everything. So, I guess that's with that being said. Okay, I'm gonna sit here and say this. Like I'm gonna say right now, this is simply my own personal opinion. If you happen to disagree with me, that's fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions in regards to these creepypastas. This is simply my own personal thoughts. My final rating, I'm giving this one only a 1 out of 10. only giving it a 1 because it was actually okay, but like not okay, but the grammar was okay, same with the sentence structuring and the paragraph structuring. But with all due sincerity, this story just it sucked. Like, I mean, it needs to be rewritten. A rewritten version of it or something perhaps might help. A backstory or something maybe that might be this the other thing. But other than that, the story was just not that good. That's all I have to really say. The story was just not that great. But I guess, with that being the case, that being said, what did you guys think about this story? Did you all enjoy it? Did you all not? Also, what we have done person to help make this story a lot better? Feel free to leave me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. And if you're new to my channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe because I make brand new videos every single day. Don't forget to ring the notification bell to when I upload so that way you guys will not miss an upload. As always, please roll the outro because I'm out and I have to go and get my brain fixed. So anyways, I'll see you all next time.